Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to make this stylish cowl neckline dress. And if this is what you're interested in learning, keep on watching and let's get started. So you'll be needing, these are the materials you'll be needing for this tutorial. You'll be needing your scissors, your ruler, French cuff, your marker, your pencil, your pattern paper, the zipper, and your fabric. So I'm using a flowered fabric and a plain crepe fabric that I used from a dress I made. So now let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is to draft out your back bodies. I will be working on my back pattern first, drafting an half scale basic bodies. So this is not going to be a full scale basic bodies. So I started from the edge of my pattern as you see me do, and I marked out my half length, which is 16, though your half length for the back is always different from the one for the front. But because I'll be needing this back pattern to draft out my front pattern, I'll be maintaining the 16 inches. So I went ahead to create my zipper allowance, and from your zipper allowance, that's where you'll be taking your across measurements. So the first thing I did was to take my shoulder measurement, and from there I went down by half an inch, and from that half an inch I marked my armhole line, and on the same line I went ahead to also mark my shoulder line to create a straight line, as you can see me too. So for you to get your armhole line, you want to divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5. For my neckline, I use 3 inches width and 1.5 inches depth for my back pattern, and from there I connected it to my armhole, where I came down by half an inch to create my shoulder slope, and I divided my armhole line, I divided by 2 and went in by 0.2 or I think 0.5 to create that curve. This is also very important, as it's going to help you to eliminate bulges on your zipper part. So now the next thing I'm doing here is to take my circumference measurement. I divided my bust by 4 and added 1.5 inches allowance. Then I did the same thing on my waistline and added my allowance. So to eliminate zipper bulge on the back of your dress, you want to go in by half an inch on the lower part of your dress, as you can see me do, and I connected it straight down to my neckline, and you're going to cut that off. I actually made a mistake here. I was not going to shade that part, but yeah. So, and the half an inch you took on your zipper line, you want to return it back to your seam allowance so you won't be short of fabric. So now the next thing I'm doing here is I went up by 1 inches allowance, and I'll be creating a straight line. The reason for this is so that when I'm cutting out my pattern, I'm cutting my back pattern on my fabric, I will fold it in and cut it, because you don't want your back fabric to be longer than your front, since we have a bust on the front part, so the back has to be shorter compared to the front length. So now just follow what I'm doing here. So after cutting, I'll be folding in the 1 inch allowance I created on that down part so that I can place it on my fabric and cut. The next thing I'm doing is to cut out a facing. I went ahead to fold it by 2. I folded my fabrics into 2 and I cut out my facing, as you can see, and I pin it down. So now I grab myself another pattern paper. This pattern paper is from one of the outfits I made, so not to waste it, I had to make use of it. So what you'll be doing is to place it. I place it on the new pattern paper, as you can see, And the first thing I did was to fold in my zipper allowance, since there won't be a zipper allowance on the front pattern, on the front bodies. You can also call it bodies too. So I folded that in to get the center front, and I went down by 7.5 inches, and I just drew a line across as so, and I measured my nipple measurement, my shoulder to my nipple bust to get my bust line, and I connected it as so. Actually, you don't have to do this, it's not necessary. You can just come down by whatever inches you want to come down, and wherever you want your the fullness of your drapes to form. That's why this part is necessary. You can decide to create your drapes around your shoulder line, which I will also try to make a tutorial on that. If it's something you would like to see, put it down in the comment section and let me know. I will gladly do that for you all. So now what I'm doing here is I'm slashing my back pattern. I'm slashing it by 7 inches. The more you spread, the more volume you have around your neckline, and the more deeper your neck depth is going to be. So if you don't want to open your cleavage, it's better you don't spread out too much. I didn't know my camera was not capturing this part, so I'm so sorry about that. You just want to make sure that your center front is aligned with the pattern paper you're placing it on. And I went ahead to just trace it out like this, and I folded the upper part. You want to leave extra space on the upper part of your pattern so that you'll be able to create your facing for the front bodies. So I actually, after sewing this, I thought of I shouldn't have used 7 inches because I barely wear things that are revealing, so the 7 inches was a little bit too low for me, but it was still cool, it was still nice, it was not bad. So you can leave it like that, but if you don't want yours to be as deep as mine, you want to reduce the spreading. So I went ahead to just do it as you can see. So go ahead and place it on your fabric and then cut as usual. I already folded my fabric into 4 to create my skirt fabric, and you can call it the bottom of your dress. I don't know, what do you call this? Let me know in the comment section. So I went ahead to fold it into 4, and I created a straight line, a starting line for my skirt for the lower part, and you want to deduct your half length from the normal length you want. I wanted like 36 length. I didn't want it to be too long, so I wanted 36. So I deducted 16 from the 36, and I discovered that it was still too long because I wanted the main length to be on the edge of the fabric, because this fabric I'm working with is not so much. So I went ahead to create another starting line for my skirt part, and I divided my waist by 4, and I added extra 1.5 sewing allowance. For the upper part I actually added like 1 inches, but I had to trim it off. And for my hip line, I measured my hip line and added same sewing allowance, and I connected it as so to the edge of my skirt. So on the zipper part for my back pattern, for my back bodies, I went in by half an inch just like we did for the upper part, and connected it to the hip line, and I returned it back to the waistline on the same allowance of my skirt. and I cut as so when you are cutting, you want to make sure you cut this together with the front back. Remember that we didn't take away any half an inch on the front part, right? So since the fabric is folded together, you want to cut them together. Then after cutting it, then you can go ahead and just cut away the half inches that was added to the front part, while you maintain the half inches that you added back to the back of your skirt. So I'm so sorry, I didn't know my camera didn't capture some part of this video. So I went ahead to notch my hip line and the center of my skirt, front skirt, and my zipper line. So now the next thing I'm doing is to create my sleeves. Actually, I didn't know what type of sleeves I want to use for this, because I had to manage my fabric. So I just went ahead to just create a normal free straight sleeve, as you can see. So guys, this will be the end of this drafting pattern tutorial. So in my next tutorial, I'll be showing how to sew the dress together. And yeah, see you guys. Do not forget to subscribe so you can get notified when I drop my next video. Bye.